Good morning, Kendra and William here.
And today we are in Bisbee, Arizona.
We are at the Queen Mine.
And we're going to go on an underground tour, so it should be a lot of fun. Come along with us. Let's go see what we can see.
So on top of the hill, we have this awesome entryway. This is copper mining. So recently we went through the silver mine, but it's got tons of cool stuff out here. And this appears to be the little train we're gonna ride on to go in the mine. So excited. That's a map of old Bisbee area. I thought it was a map of the mine itself, but here we go. Well, that was easy enough. We got all checked in, and husband's going to turn around here and show you his tag. Look how cute. He is tagged in. He is 532.
You're 5'6'8".
And some information. Tags. I think it's cute. I really want to take this donkey home with us, and if we were driving, that bad boy would be mine. I know. We don't do a lot of souvenirs, but then sometimes I just can't help myself. We're gonna get a little hard hat. It's all the stuff. Ooh, here's some shoppy stuff too. I like sparkly stuff. So, I guess this is just the gift shop stuff, and then we'll be ready to go underground. Kind of tempted for some glow-in-the-dark stuff. Some underground treasures from the area. So now this is interesting, like looking at all the different mine names, like Southwest and Campbell and Dallas and Holbrook, Lavender Pit. So after the other day at, where were we? Good Enough Mine in Tombstone, I'm so curious of like where these names come from. Look at this. We're gonna do a wide so you can just check it all out. And then I'm gonna go closer. How do you get into this? I think it starts over here. And then we're gonna go closer because I wanna look at it too. The cager guy is using the phone back there.
Lots of detail.
I really like models of stuff.
Dude, they had a blue mule.
A blue mule. How was that? What's this one say about it? Is this just the top side?
Yeah.
Early
man using flint for chipping out metal.
So I knew some people back in the day that they actually built a dinorama for like the Mill Springs battlefield in Kentucky, Nancy, Kentucky specifically, and just like talking to them and like all the details that they put into it to like make it correct and, you know, to scale and animals and landscaping. Like, that was so much work. So, like, I extra appreciate these things. And then there's this big thing here in the middle. Square set timbering. Invented by Philip. Yeah, you all can pronounce that one. In 1860, the square set timbering is a mining technique designed to stabilize large underground cavities. This method involves constructing a framework of interlocking timbers known as square sets, which can be extended both vertically and horizontally, resembling a honeycomb that provides robust support and prevents collapses. Fun. And here's this big cutie. Oh, there's something over here. Let's check out that. Bloop. And my new friend here. You can take a photo with my new friend.
This fella is John James Jimmy Pierce.
You ready to go into the mine?
Already.
We have our safety hats, safety vest, and a light. All excited. Oh, there's the bell. That's where we came out of. More donkey friends. Ah! We're like lightning bugs. Oh, I was trying to kiss you.
Can everybody enjoy the tour? No, it's seriously about half-mile trip and round trip in and out here today. And again, the only reason we stop right here is to make sure everybody's okay to continue on. This does happen to be the narrowest and darkest part of this tour. Further on, the tunnel gets a little wider and better lit after that. Is everybody doing okay so far right now?
Yeah.
That lady did just right to step out, folks. I mean, we can get you out anytime, but if you even if you have a little bit of a claustrophobia, the further you get back in, the worse it gets. I'm happy she made that decision right there, and don't think ill of her right there.
Copper Queen shaft. Whoa, baby. That was pretty cool. Well, this is definitely a first for me, and I'm pretty sure William, to riding a straddle antique train car down into a mine. What's that say? 500? Oh, just 500. Okay, he's gonna get off and come tell us something else. Okay, he just had to pause for a minute to get off and open a door, and away we go. Non-potable water is what's in that, I'm assuming. That's where the sign was. Just gonna go with it. 600 feet in. Okay. Clean mine is a safe mine. Yes, I chose to do the Arizona trip instead of a Disney trip this weekend, so I had to get him on a mine train. Ooh, what's there? Fire extinguisher? Everyone's like little lights make me feel like it's a little dizzy, like I'm following all the different lights. Slowing down. A little jerk. Dark, scary tunnel. Something like a ventilation system going on down here.
Yep.
I should show you all if I'm talking about it, right? Ooh, there's a sign up here. He stopped again.
Trying to get away from there. There we go. As soon as I walk past, step off, just follow me in this direction, please.
Okay, we're gonna go follow him.
Please step off to your left and follow me in this direction. Back there, picture this tunnel twice bigger than it is, going straight up vertically, connecting some of those levels, sub-levels above. This area is about 1911, 1915 right here. So let's say back in 1915, the men above us, they're mining the ore out, they're putting in these little cool little cars. They're actually pushing these cars to the top of the chute and dumping the ore and filling up this wood transfer chute with copper ore. Down here, those young men were doing just the opposite. They're pushing around the empty cars. They would spot percent of those empty cars underneath these chutes. Once they did, that man's gonna pick up a piece of pipe about 6 foot long. Pipe is what, folks? Inside is hollow, right? Mm-hmm. Put that hollow pipe over these round handles. Use that for cheater leverage and pull down. That would push these doors up, load about 2,000 pounds or 1 ton of ore in each car. Shut the chutes back off. And this is hard to believe for me, but it's really true, folks. Up to 1907, they were still pushing these full cars out by hand to get them smelted down. Any volunteers for that job? My hand's not gonna go up either right there. Not even when you're younger, man. Yeah, maybe a day or two, but not for all the time. This was an entry-level position, folks. When you came to work for the mining, this is called a slusher or mucker position right there, and that's where they start the men out. Either filling the chute at the top or emptying it out at the bottom right there. 1907, they finally got electric haulage down here. Not the kind of trains you see us, moving motors right there, but they had the trolley motors. Those trolley motors would have a trolley arm that would swing up and make contact with this 240 volt positive DC wire right there. Does anybody see any insulation on that wire? That's because it never had it. That was a metal contact right there. That was your positive. That red was a negative. That tells me that man riding in that train at that point was part of that closed electrical loop. Unreal. That safety would not fly in my day and mine right there, folks. But they used little trolley motors all the way till they shut the last mines down here in 1975. Not enough. They had very, very few accidents with the trolley motors right there. Sure did right there. Now, does anybody want to know about this weird little four-wheel bike sitting on my left-hand side?
I do.
There you go. You didn't expect to come out of mine tour to see a four-wheel bike sitting down here. This is linked directly to that little office desk you saw coming down here on the left-hand side. Everybody remember that? Little cubby hole with a wooden desk sitting back in there.
Yeah.
That was a shift boss's desk. These type of drills right here, my right and left hand, they're used till the mid-1940s. They're called liners or drifter drills. These drills are super heavy, folks. They weigh about 300 pounds apiece, believe it or not. Two men would set up these columns, mount the drills, take them a good 8 hours to drill 25 holes 7 foot deep right there. Were they loud? Yeah. Way above 85 decibels. That's what's required for human being hearing protection right there. And even though they're really super old, they still have water suppression on them. What water suppression means, or dust suppression on them, for water for dust suppression. 1890s, folks, now in the mid-1940s, they came out with a real big invention. It's called a Gardner Denver air leg or jack leg right here. Real big improvement, folks. First of all, you don't see any massive column setup. They don't need it anymore because you have an air cylinder right here that extends out with the extension on about 11 feet of the track. They can even drill straight up and down with this right here. Also weighs about 90 pounds. Is 90 pounds better than 300? It's better than no kidding right there. And here's your water holes hooked up right here, folks. Why do you have water around here, folks? And drilling back in this limestone rock, you're creating a lot of, clouds and clouds of dust in here, so you want to knock that dust down. This water would actually shoot in here, travel through the hollow piston. There's a long brass needle in there called a water needle that sticks into your hollow drill steel, and it shoots out the front side there, like it's like a high pressure water hose, and turn that dust into what? Mud. You might slip, but that's better than getting silicosis, right? Nobody wants silicosis. And to better understand what I'm talking about, folks, put your lights right on the end of this drill steel. You actually see the hole where the water came out of right there. Now this looks like a real low-tech invention here, folks, in 2025, and it certainly is. But something as simple as this, folks, back in the 1890s when they first developed the hollow drill steel, saved hundreds of thousands of men lives worldwide from getting lung disease right there. And actually a very painful painful death right there. No kidding, man. Nobody wants to get silicosis, that's for sure. Questions on the drills, ladies and gentlemen?
What powered the water pressure for the 1880 version?
They would have a gravity fed from the surface, bringing it down in here. Back in the day, they sure would. And then drills themselves were pneumatic or air-powered drills right there. Before that, our last stop, I'm going to show you the old hammer and chisel days they were using back in the 1880s right there. 7 foot deep. They've got the drills and equipment out at a safe distance. Now they're getting ready to do what's called load the face. And load the face means put the powder or explosives in these holes. But folks, underground you can't blow anything up by explosion. You have to control it. You don't want to knock your timber out above you and just make a mess of everything down here. And the secret to implosion, check this out right in the middle. You see a group of 5 holes real close together. This is called a 5-hole burn pattern. And something as simple as these 5 holes is what's going to bring in several hundred ton of limestone, and instead of shooting down and wrecking everything. Path of least resistance is how it's done. They're going to put 5 sticks of dynamite in that center hole. That center hole has the shortest fuse. When lit, this hole will detonate before anything else does. The secret is, real close right around it, you got 4 empty holes with nothing in them. 5 sticks of dynamite, just a thin piece of limestone right there, folks. When that first charge detonates, boom! It blows right out to those 4 empties all the way back in there. So what do they have? The first half second? About 11-inch diameter hole, 7.5 foot deep with crushed and pulverized rock. But there's a lot of stored energy in there. You detonated 5 sticks of TNT. That rock wants to move if it can. On one place that rock can move is right out here. So it'll take most of the crushed core and just sling it out and put it in that room right there. That's the first step to implosion. So what do we have now? Right in the middle of all the dynamite ready to go off around it, an empty cavity going back 7.5 foot. Think of this as the weak spot. What I mean by the weak spot is, your next longest fuse will detonate, not even a split second later, will detonate these 5 sticks of TNT right in here. But man, these sticks of TNT are lazy. What I mean by lazy is, That dynamite does not want to break out through 1.5 feet of good tough limestone, not one that has an empty hole right next to it with an 1.5 inch of limestone. So when this detonates, instead of exploding, it will implode into that cavity. Everybody got that? Now we're bringing a rock in the center. Next longest fuse, it detonates, it implodes down to your cuddle, across to it and up into it. Next 2 or 3 seconds, you have a 24-inch diameter hole 7.5 foot deep. But now here comes a big difference. The rock has somewhere else to go. Instead of shooting out, all that rock will cram into your cuddle automatically. Then what happens? You got a nice, fresh, empty gap right around it for your next detonation to implode into that, which causes another empty gap, your next detonation to implode into that. Always bringing a rock into itself, folks, instead of shooting out and making a mess and taking your timber down right there. How cool is that, young lady? That was in before 1916. If you had to go take number 2 down here before 1916, you'd walk down some lonesome tunnel down there, and waiting for you down there is a big kitty litter box. Just an empty wooden box full of sand and clay, you know, you do your business in.
Yes, so we just took the toilet photo, so now we are walking up here by ourselves.
Apache Powder Company.
Apache. So now husband is the only one getting us out here with a light. I have a light on my neck too, but videoing, so. But our awesome tour guide took our pictures on the toilet. It was so fun.
This is way more modern mine than yesterday.
Yes, and it's copper, and that one was silver. Hey. Back by ourselves. And away we go. That's where we just came from. Cooler going this direction.
Yeah, more airflow.
More airflow, okay.
About 700 feet from the entrance, but if you would step off on your right hand side, you might have 36 real easy, but that can check out all 18.
Did you hear what he said?
No.
700 foot something, and we're
Yeah,
getting off.
750 feet from the entrance is what I got.
750 feet from the entrance, and we're getting off, and we're gonna go up 30 some stairs. Ooh, that's hot. Oh, here's the clean mine is a safe mine. We're gonna go up the baby steps. What I am on board, so you're watching.
Yeah, rebar rail with nuts as the holder.
That's a big piece of steel. Rebar, you're right. What do you do with it? Put it inside concrete, reinforced concrete, building, reinforced building. You're right, that's what it's called.
Excuse me.
Where'd you come from? I didn't know you were He was taller when we started.
Yeah. All right, folks, this is not I know it looks like a lot like a natural cave, but it's not. This is one of the many places in this mountain where the copper ore body was and it has been mined out. Most of these areas, they would actually backfill after mining with waste rock from within the mine itself. That way, they can keep the mountain stable to continue mining. Look around, pointing in the circle of my light, see a flashing pretty neat rock right there. That is one color of copper ore called malachite, and that green rock will fill this cavity, ladies and gentlemen, one time. That's what they're after right there. They want to get down to about 8-inch size. They're putting those cool mining cars, taking them outside to the tour building. And up to 1904, our tour building was a small copper smelter. It smelt that rock down to about 98% pure copper, but that's not good enough. Strike that steel, turn it, strike it, turn it, strike it, and turn it. Just turning that between the strikes, folks, to make a good round hole, also to keep that steel from getting stuck on them. Two men trading off every hour or so and giving the other guy a rest, drilling like this. In a 10-hour shift, maybe get a couple holes, 2.5 foot deep. They put their dynamite in there and break that rock out. And if that rock was that pretty big malachite up there, folks, they're gonna put it in baskets and buckets right here, sacks, whatever they had, and then carry it back up to the surface, do that incline shaft right there. Now, on core drill, assay off and stuff like that. Again, all our gray rock around us is limestone, but then you come to a real pretty little area like this. You'll see a lot of it in here, not as pretty, quite as pretty as this one right here. What you're looking at, folks, right there, the yellow is elemental sulfur right there, the red is iron right there, and the gray, sparkly stuff in the middle, that's calcite leaching out of the limestone right here. When you think of that rock forming, folks, you're gonna go back 180 million years ago right there. It was impregnated in the cracks in this mountain right here. This is a real low-grade iron ore called hematite or goethite.
And here we go. Surface this way. Here's the surface this way. I can't see it. That was really cool.
Yeah, it's really steep.
Sorry, I flung you across to the other side of the train car. I mean, it's seriously only like 10 inches wide. So we asked the guy why he didn't turn out the lights, because in every tour underground thing I've ever done in my life that I remember, they always do like a lights out thing. And he said years ago that they had like somebody turn their ankle or something, and then now they can't do it. So very sad, because I mean it is really cool to have total darkness, but whatever. This is very warm, like the whole trip. Like I was expecting going underground and being a little cool. I mean, also at this point in my life, I would like 50 degrees, so it's okay. Oh, he has to stop and open the door.
Just not roll back very far, just a little bit.
He got off and we rode back a little bit. That was cute. And sunlight.
When you have a full train with a lot of people, the weight keeps the train, but when you have just a few people, it'll roll back like this.
He said that they normally take 40, 42 people, I think is what he said.
Yeah,
And we,
somewhere in the 40s. They were 15 people, so.
I love doing stuff off season, as long as stuff's still open. Like there's some towns like you got to do between like Memorial Day and Labor Day, but I love doing just a little off season. You know, I don't know if the prices really change, but just the experience. Sometimes we get like private tours, or we had to turn in our little red tag. Oh, there's the train engine. Just want to say thank you for coming along with us and to the Queen Mine. And we'll see you next Saturday.